If you've ever wondered what your specific gifts are, if you've ever been curious about your soul path and your calling, and maybe you have glimpses of it, but maybe you feel a little bit lost, this is the episode that you are going to really love, and it's going to remind you of the truth that God has for you, that your truth, that your soul purpose is inside of you. It's not on the outside. So welcome to the podcast. My name is Jeanne Street, and I'm thrilled that you're here. So knowing your sacred gifts doesn't come from looking on the outside or watching how other people use their gifts. It is about your unique ability to move into the heavenly realm and the earthly realm with your senses. Mary Magdalene, she was the first woman who saw spirit. She saw Jesus in spirit form. And I love this scripture from John 20:18. Mary Magdalene went to the disciples with the news, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. So she, a woman, and this is a really big thing to lean into, because in that time, women weren't in the forefront. And this beautiful soul, this woman who Jesus appeared to, was sent to the disciples to tell them what she saw. Go, tell your brothers. Tell them what I say. Tell them what you saw. Tell them of this experience. This reminds me that we all have a divine purpose, that no matter who you are, God has a calling inside of you that is specific for your soul. And just as Mary was called to witness the resurrection, to share the sacred message and the teachings that Jesus provided to her in this spiritual form with men, with others, you too have been entrusted with unique gifts that allow you to move about the cabin of your life with a soul authority. But for most women, most healers, most sensitive souls that I get to work with, they are depleted. They are depleted spiritually. They are depleted emotionally. They are depleted energetically. And why is this? Why do we get ourselves into the place of feeling lack, of feeling depletion, of wondering, of thinking things are never going to happen for us or things aren't going to change? And what I believe to be true about this is when we are stuck in a loop, a cycle of low frequency energy, low frequency thoughts, of low frequency energy, of that depletion, it's a telltale sign that we are living on the outside and experiencing the world from the perspective of being, I'll say, disassociated. And while you might be able to come back in and have some experiences in your body, when you live on the outside, constantly seeking energy, whether you're reading the room on purpose or doing it accidentally, you are feeling into other people's fields, and that will leave you in a wonderment of what is wrong, because this energy isn't yours, but yet you're trying to make sense out of it. So this is a big topic, and I want to lean in with, again, the teachings, the gospel of Mary Magdalene, when she says, when we uncover what's been hidden within, this is when we're in our knowing. when we uncover, when we go inward, when we discover our gifts, when we discover what is hidden, it is revealed what is real. It is no longer away from us. It is no longer like a carrot dangling away, like challenging us to do something different or be someone other than who we fucking are. And I don't know about you, but growing up in this highly sensitive body and having the awareness that I have of being able to commune with souls in the heavenly realm and also souls that aren't of God. Seeing those souls when I was a child scared me. And it taught me I don't want to have those scary experiences. I don't want to have that energy come to me anymore. So I learned at a very young age how to come in and hold within. And this is something that I teach other women how to do in their language, in their physical body language. So we all have these energy centers. Our energy centers are how we commune with the world around us. So, you've heard people say that gut feeling, you get that feeling when you're in the room with someone who is really great to be around and you're like magnetic. You're like, ooh, I get that feeling. I just need to meet that person. Or the opposite. Oh my gosh, I just can't be near that person. Like they have dark energy. And so maybe your senses are on board here. Possibly you see a wave of energy around people. Possibly you feel it. You sense this energy. You just have this knowing. Well, this is your way of reading energy. And when left unchecked, and what I mean by that is you're not working in alignment with God. You just have these gifts. You know they're there, but you're not really doing anything about it. And so they're ruling you rather than you being in a purified state. So that means you're open to pretty much anything out there that is available to come into your senses. And that's not a good place to be. Why? I can tell you, you don't want to be there. You don't want dark energy to come to you. You don't want trickster energy to come in and constantly berate you and challenge your own authority, because then you learn how to challenge your own authority and you learn to put yourself last, because that's what fear's mission is to debunk anything that is good and holy and right with God. Whew, that's huge, right? Okay. So our energy centers, how this comes into play is you have these 7 energy points in your body and they move with your glands. So you have at the base of your spine in your pelvic bowl, that is the first energy center, the root center. It is the first center to develop. And when you're born, this is the center where you are grounded in a belief system of the family, of the teachings that you come in with. But you have this duality of what your soul knows and what the world is teaching you. And for healers, when they come in and they're told to be something other than who they are, this disrupts the flow of energy, the frequency that comes and flows from Mother Earth and heaven together to make the equanimity of your connection to this place on our earth, to your comfortableness, to your understanding of who you fucking are. So if you're challenged and you're like, I don't really know what makes me up, and you maybe have had a lot of different roles in your life, possibly a lot of different job titles, well, this is most likely because your root center is off balance, and you also might be exiting your body through this point energetically to read rooms, to feel into the the air around you, the energy around you. Where I find most people are off in the root typically is they have substance abuse. They are trying to manage the energy they're in, and it's really hard because they're receiving so much of the outside world. They don't feel like them, and so they turn to substance, alcohol, drugs, sex, something that makes them feel like they're themselves, but it's really a falseness. So the second one is your sacral center. This is the womb space for women. This is where we birth things into the world. It's where we come into communion with God with those beautiful channeled ideas and that creative flow. And it really comes and it cultivates and it starts to marinate, it starts to become, and then we take an actionable step. When this is off balance, when we are wounded in our understanding of who we are, we'll go into spaces where we'll want to people please from this point. We'll go into, does that feel like mine? Maybe if I do it that way, it looks better. And so we start giving our power away in this center. And then we become very depleted and very reliant on others and energy around us to fill us up. So this is also where that people pleasing, and enabling energy comes in, because you're a healer, you desire nothing more than to give and receive love, but you give what you don't have because there's this imbalance here. The next center is your sacral. The sacral center is located just under the rib cage. And this is your intuition. This is your ability to intuit the energy that you're receiving earthbound and from the heavenly realm. When off balance, your intuition is not your first go-to. You're not trusting your gut. You're not leaning in here. And if you have the knowing, which is God's voice, is the wisdom of God speaking through you, you're going to second guess everything. You're going to question yourself. You're going to question your own authority. You might seek others' authority to tell you what to do, but then still not feel good about it. And so this is a sense of lack, and your joy really isn't present when your center is off balance here. And a lot of healers exit their body through this particular point, because when you are little and you've come into this world with a great big gift of, having a healing ability, God has called you to be the light, but the people around you are challenging what you actually know to be true. You learn to leave your body through your sense, through your awareness, to go into the room around you to make sure that the adults are matching, like you're matching their energy, that things are okay. And this is where you start adjusting your behavior. This is where you start adjusting your personality. This is where you start resourcing from outside instead of within. And this can go more and more and more here, but you get the point here. So when I'm saying we leave the body and exit the body, it is through the awareness of a sense where we're moving around the room in order to sense and make sure we're safe. So this really, like if you have any type of abuse, physical, mental, emotional, you used this center to exit, to sense, am I okay? Am I safe? Because you would intuit like, oh my gosh, I feel the tension. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing red. You'll come through your senses, and then you will adjust yourself, hide yourself. You will readjust the energy you're in order to be safe. And it really, as an adult, begins to be a dopamine hit, because you're constantly reading rooms and reading energy, and you're getting a buzz, and you might be picking up on information, psychic information. And what happens when we constantly are psychically connecting to the world is we lose the sense of who we fucking are. We just don't know where someone else begins and where we end and what's ours and what's another's. And, and if you're an empath, then you're bringing this energy into your body and you're trying to assemble it in a way that it makes sense and it's not yours. And you can take on autoimmune issues. You can become really ill here. So it's really important for us to understand our energy centers and how we're exiting our body, which sense is our strongest sense. And we can go over that in a bit when I'm done here with these energy centers. Okay, so the next one is your heart center. Your heart center in the seat of your soul, the center of your chest, is the truth, is you and God. It's the light that people are attracted to. It's your giving and receiving. And when out of balance, you are overgiving, you are giving, and you are not receiving, or you're managing. Managing energy looks like I just have to be in control of everything all the time. So when we start managing, it's a form of manipulation. It's because we've been hurt. It's because we've experienced something that wasn't a match for us. And then we're trying to regulate, to feel better, to feel safe, to feel whole. And we will give over and over, sometimes too much, keep continually giving because our value, our worthiness is so low and we're so depleted. So we'll overgive from the heart center. And this can lead to a lot of issues with our breathing, with our lungs, with our breasts, and with our back. It can, behind the wing bones, it can lead to overall blood depletion. So iron deficiencies, our ability for our blood to move to our brain, our ability to absorb nutrients through our blood. So a lot of things can go haywire when the heart center is off balance. The throat center is exactly where you think it is, in the center of your neck. The throat is where we are clearly connected to our truth, and we are speaking it from a place of integrity. When this center is out of alignment, and typically when our root is out of alignment, our throat will be out of alignment, or our sacral and our throat, definitely. Because when you're not in your own soul authority, your truth, and connected to the divine, to the highest part of yourself with God, you will not be able to speak your truth. You will search for it, you will overtalk it, and even become avoidant. So some people close down and retreat inward, and some people do it overly. They're over talkers. They're just talking to talk and nothing really makes sense. This center also for healers, when off balance, leads to confusion about what you're supposed to do. And here we'll start to seek, again, outside validation in order to feel like, okay, that's what I need to do. We don't trust our own inner authority voice. The next center is our third eye, the center of the forehead. And in this center, this is our clear ability to see energy, to see spirit, and to see truth. Now, see is a big word. And seeing, being able to hold the energy, it also can go through all of your senses. So your third eye can also, all of your centers can receive all of your senses of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you feel. And my last one is what you know. When we work with our senses in a stacking way, we will clear up the energy that is blocking, controlling, or stopping us from having these beautiful experiences. So you can have an overactive third eye where you're only just on all the time and seeing all kinds of stuff. not just beautiful, light, heavenly things, but you can also see shadow, dark, and scary energy. And so we want to purify these energy centers, all of them, with the divine. So that brings us to the crown, which is our opening to the heavenly realm. All of our centers in balance will bring us into the heavenly realm, but the crown is really where we open to source connection, to our ability to move connected in to the heavenly realm while being held here magnetically to our place here on earth. So crown to the soles of your feet all need to be opened, aligned, and balanced. And why does this matter? Like, why? Well, it matters if you are seeking clarity for your life. It matters in the work that you're doing in the world, whether you have a physical job or you are home with a family or caring for others, or just even navigating your own healing journey. When your energy centers are aligned, cleared, and blessed, you're able to navigate life so much easier and clearer, and you know exactly what God is asking of you and what He's not asking of you. And this is the big part. Like, when you're reading energy all the time, you're continually thinking God is asking you or waiting for some sign. And that's not really how it works. That's how fear keeps you in a controlled state of chaos. And I just want to say this to be really clear in all the work that I do, that I've had so many people come in and be like, I don't believe in low energy devil. I don't believe in any of that. And I'm not your girl. I'm going to tell you right off, right true. The Bible tells us to guard our hearts, to make sure that we are in good standing with God for a reason, because there is dark energy lurking out there. It does want to take God light out. It does want to increase suffering, separation from love. And when you are sensitive, when you have the ability to move through one of your energy centers with your senses to navigate the world, then you're a target. You're a target, and fear will want, I'll just call it fear, will want to take you down, won't want you to be the light for anyone else, especially yourself. So if we're in good standing with God, if we're in the light, if we're in the truth, then we're constantly purifying. We're constantly realigning. We're valuing God's word and our truth over what the outside world has taught us. So this was a really big episode. And I don't want to leave you hanging. I want to open up for dialogue here. I'd love to hear your questions and your comments on this in the comment section here on the podcast so that I can answer them and lean in. And I would love to do another podcast to go a little further for you, for the greater good of humanity. So no question is too little. Please ask it below. I would so appreciate for you to subscribe to this podcast and to leave me a review. I hope you have a beautiful day. God loves you, my friend. God bless you.